What is up? It is Dan McDonald, and I am the Life Regenerator here on YouTube. Today we're going to be discussing a green juice recipe to heal anything. I used to have, that was the most popular video I ever had. It was entitled, A Green Juice Recipe to Heal Any Ill at Ease. But we don't want to use that anymore. But so if I say something more politically correct, like a green juice recipe to heal yourself of anything, because ultimately, my friend, check this out. It is, if it's gonna be, it's up to me. If it's gonna be happening, it's gonna be on you, baby, because they don't have a clue. They still don't have a clue, and they never will, because there's no incentive. Healthy people are the least profitable. Like, I'm healthy. What do you need? Nothing. What do you want? Some fresh air. How much does that cost? Nothing. So, let's get on the juice recipe. Last time I forgot to say the recipe. I got so excited about the philosophy, but I also want to share with you what's really up. The real deal, actually, once and for all. So we make the recipes and stuff because we want to have, we want to have vitamins, we want to have minerals, we want to have energy. There's carbohydrates for energy, there's fats for energy, there's amino acids for building. And I got to tell you, I love them all. I know everyone's like, oh, fat. I'm like, okay, brain shrink, goodbye. And all these extremes and stuff, which, hey, no one's more guilty of extremes than me. I've gone 40 days without eating anything. I've done all this crazy dry fasting and all kinds of weird diets and stuff like that. But I've come to the conclusion after 25 years of all this craziness, living foods and fasting, that, carbs are good. Fat is good. And amino acids are good. And everyone can argue, but I'm like, you don't even need to watch any more videos from me ever again. You'll never learn anything else from anyone else either, except they like to argue and put the other side down. But once it clicks, which is going to be probably very rare for it to click, you're like, oh, you see the common denominator. It's like, and it's a miracle, because you're like, oh, eat real food. But then of course everyone's like, well, you mean like this stuff from Chipotle, right? With 47 ingredients? It's so good, it's really good healthy food. Don't be a dick, Dan McDonald. But the thing is, it's like, no, that is a mishmash of craziness. And it's cooked and all the enzymes are gone, So real food at room temperature, to be honest with you, the frozen food, the cooked food, the enzymes work perfectly at room temperature, or the temperature of the ambiance of the environment that you're in. And so we are just way off. That's why everyone's like, let's fight about this. And I'm like, well, all of you are wrong. Have a nice day, because we've created a concrete jungle and it's madness. Here's this juice recipe that I haven't shared with you yet, but you gotta deal with me on the philosophy stuff, because all I wanna say, that's why maybe I can make 90-second videos now, and I'll blast you with this stupid music on Instagram, and your attention span will be shot and you'll be searching for more dopamine, or we can just get on here and be like, hey, my name is Dan McDonald, and I want to highly encourage you to eat real food. I know it's a stretch. I know it's a conspiracy theory. I know I must be out of my mind. What's this guy talking about? Eat real food. That's crazy. We've never heard of that before. But that's the common denominator of the people that end up, fixing their health. So you got this guy over here, this lady over here, this dude over here. And if somehow they can convince people to stop eating the trash, which is about, 70 to 80%, then the rest of it might be decent to start with. Then you put it at the restaurant, cook it in fluoridated water with all kinds of seed oils and a lot of additives and preservatives, and turn it into this mishmash and cook it to death so there's nothing left. We're gonna have problems, kids. We got the Nama J2 We got the lemon ginger blast. I feel better today. It's been a couple of days. I've had some sleep. I had these camping, living out of my car, and the god dang this motel room, which was like, I was like on the bed, just, oh my God, there's scabies and cockroaches and bed bugs. It was disgusting. Tried to save a little money. I ain't gonna do that again. I should have just paid the extra 20 or 30 bucks and got the decent place. Anyhow, right now I'm settled, staying with a friend. It's my job to make juice. She left. I got a minute. I'm gonna make a video here to try to keep my show going. I wanted to talk about what you can do. And I know I talk a lot. I like it. But I'm constantly evolving. Now I have what I think is the ultimate secret, because I just get all these revelations. And I'm gonna share that throughout this video, okay? The one thing that everyone needs to know, other than that, like, what do I eat? Real food. Okay, check. Next, we're gonna talk about what really needs to happen for you to get healthy, to find peace and ease in your life, which is extremely difficult for people in this modern day and age, and the way that the mind has been constructed and programmed from birth by your mother and your father and society. And they're all wrong about everything. And every once in a while, a great master would come along and try to teach the masses, and then they turned it into a religion and botched it up to pieces, and the simple truth is gone, so there's not even enough left to wad a pop gun anymore. And the truth is so simple and so plain and so basic. The masses of humanity are arguing about the theological discussions of a waste of time so that you don't have to face the truth. The simplicity of the truth, which makes you go, oh, you know, oh. And nobody wants to have that. They want to be, I'm special, I'm better, my thoughts, my concepts. But it's so tight. Everybody's so tight. Your system can't work. It doesn't matter what diet, it doesn't matter anything. It's an inside job, baby. So we're gonna teach how to, all these levels. So that's why I'm the life regenerator. So it's like bop, bing, bang, bong, you know, bing, bong, boom. There's all these levels happening at once, and you kind of want to have like a teacher. And that's why I'm good at the consults, because this guy can be at a certain level, and then this person can be at another level, and then you can go, you know, all the different levels, and there's only one thing that you need to know, and then you can guide anyone back. And that's what you're doing, is you're just guiding everyone back to what I like to say, the center. But it has a million different names. Some of them are more socially acceptable and politically correct. Some people like certain terminology, others don't like it. Don't worry about the semantics. You're going back to the center, you're going back to the core, you're unraveling the falsehood. But now, are you gonna go out and excavate for the truth? For the true concepts after you get rid of all the false concepts? No. You're not gonna go seeking for any true concepts, because there aren't any. And that is the problem. I should have been making this juice and rapping at the same time, but it's been a minute. I don't know if it's coming through or not, but I've had a miracle, you know, and I am not the same, you know. And I wish I could teach people what I've learned from this process. And it's like, how much of it is about food, Dan? It's like, okay, like pretty decent though, because live foods, enzymes, real food, no poison. Your system, the microbes are like, hey, I can deal with this. Otherwise, plus I eat hella enzymes, probiotics, and herbs, drink hella juice, and eat raw foods. And so it's like the whole thing is just like, this thing is just like a machine. I got it, you know? And so that's one thing I could teach. But then this thing up here too affects this thing. And this thing affects this thing, and this thing affects this thing. So you kind of gotta be like aware, you know? Just aware. But then you also don't want to have a bunch of concepts and rules, because then everybody's so tight. You know, it's tight, real tight. This is this and this is that. It's and they're mad as hell about everything in this world, and politics and the end of the world and global warming and carnivores and vegans and men versus women. And it's like, I got a way to help you escape all of that hogwash. But only if you've suffered enough. Because once you've suffered enough, now you'll be ready. But if you haven't suffered enough, which, by the way, pain, that's a part of life. Suffering is the resistance to pain, which then you're like, well, I'm going to drink, I'm going to smoke, I'm going to eat, I'm going to do everything under the sun and only make it worse. Then you might get on a spiritual kick and actually be able to sit there with yourself. Oh, this is very unpleasant. But you know what? I'm just not going to go anywhere, because I'm going to explore this unpleasantness. I'm not going to drink, I'm not going to smoke, I'm not going to run, I'm not going to distract. Okay? Then you just sit there and you're like, oh, this is very unpleasant. I wonder where this is coming from. Let us examine this with curiosity. And that's the beginning of the process. When you're like, I'm going to examine where this unpleasantness is coming from. Of course, you can just bypass it, like I said, and go straight to the center, straight to the core, back to the heart, back to God, back to the self, back to the source. I know, sounds like a lot of spiritual hogwash. The I am is the ultimate concept. It's like, actually, it's prior to the I am. It's prior to you even realizing you exist. And if you can get back to the pristine, my young Padawan learners, it is pretty dang amazing. You can unravel. That's what this is about. This is one video. I'll go on to the juice on the next one. I'll do this will be like my philosophy, my introduction, the icebreaker. It's only been a few days, but I had a lot of crap. It was just crazy. I was out camping, and then I went to this motel room, and I was doing pretty good with the consults, but I've actually missed a couple. But I mean, I made up for it the next day, and then just yesterday I missed one, because it's just crazy to kind of be homeless and not have a stability, and you can't really control everything all the time when you don't have a stable situation, which I'm looking for, some stability, so I can just go back to work. It's just a little job and make a little juice, last a few times, try to convince people to eat real food. It's like an impossible task. It's like, oh, Dan McDonald, you and your real food. That's a conspiracy theory, you know. McDonald's burgers eventually digest. Yeah, but really 10 years later they look the same. So what kind of preservatives do you got? Which are enzyme inhibitors, which are on the shelves of the food? So then everyone's becoming plastic, and there's no malleability, and then all the communication networks that are associated with, you know, liquids and cellular animation and communication, they just begin to boop, 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 boop. And then all the stuff that they do with the pediatricians, oh, it's amazing, and the pharmaceuticals and all the fake food and the fake everything and the fake. And then you're supposed to buy into it, and you're like, I'm down here on reality where nature is still nature and God is still God, but you went down the road of social media, technology, AI, and now everything is fake and plastic, you know, Brazilian butt lifts. The whole place, you don't even know if the butts are real anymore. So, and then somebody that's like, you know, it all works itself out perfectly if you can just let go. You're like, oh, how dare you? We've got to take control of this. We're going to be so insane, everyone. Trying to control instead of let go, let God, chill, relax. And then everything works. It's so tight, though, that nothing works. So it's the constriction. And you try to get people to let go, and they were like, I will never let go. And you're like, you're dying of cancer. I will never let go. And you're like, relax. I can't. And it's hard work. You know, with the women, they're afraid. With the dudes, they're afraid. It's different fears, you know? And the control comes from the fear. But then if you're like, wait a minute, I'm going to die. I'm going to leave this body behind and all the accolades and all the plaques and all the wonderful things that you do and your legacy, you know, and it's all going to mean nothing when this whole thing is dead. And so then you don't have to be so like, oh my God, I got to make sure this legacy works out the way I want. I want to be remembered. I want to create something and be remembered. That's a lot of pressure. And all the other different types of pressure that arise from fear. So if you can just let go and be a nobody, I guarantee you, you'll digest your food better. You'll sleep better. You won't be tripping. You won't be needing to fight with people like, let's argue about religion. Like, you win. Because arguing about religion is about the stupidest thing you could do, because you can't say a word about God and it ever makes sense at all without diminishing the absolute power of the total presence of now. You're just like in awe of it, but then in a minute, well, let's break down this awe. And then death. Death to the awe. Death to the, oh my God, in yourself. Wow. Infinite. And then you're like, well, let's break this down intellectually. Let's put God into a little box and fight about it. How long have we been doing that as a species? I mean, that is pathetic. I'm just going to go out into the sunlight and be in awe of God. And then I'm going to let everybody else argue about whether Jesus ate fish on a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night, or if Jesus ate fish at all, or if anyone ate fish, or, you know, if he had three-toed sandals or, you know, whatever. And it's like none of it matters at all. In fact, when you analyze things from the highest vantage point, none of it matters. Unless it matters to you. But you're the one that makes it, so you're the one that can let go too. You're the one that does not have to be so tight. The whole place is tight. Everybody, the young men, the women, everybody's tight. And the real secret to life is to loosen it up, baby. Straighten your hooks. Just let it all go. All the attachments to how things need to be, and all the aversions and the fears and the worries, which are innumerable. I won't even get into examples and details, because for you they're different than they are for everyone else. But you know, that's why, like, being out on the road again, you know, houseless, I guess is what it's the politically correct term now. It's like, you're like, okay, because it can suck. I mean, sometimes you get cold. You ain't even had a green juice in like 2 weeks, so I'm excited about this. I had one yesterday though, cucumber and coconut, and it was like the best thing ever. So fruit, but the green juice is medicine, you know, and it's a supplement. And you could argue about food till the cows come home, but the winner of the argument and the winner of nutrition will be the person that eats real food at room temperature and doesn't do anything to it. You know, now, I mean, of course, why are you juicing? Just because what you do is you concentrate everything and it's pre-digested, and then you use it as a medicine, and you mix it, you take it with enzymes, and then you have a therapeutic effect for all the residuals left over from a whole lifetime of being out of balance with nature's perfect room temperature, freshly picked food, which most of us can't really do that, but we can use that concept and principle to get as close as we can and train ourselves. Because then if you're out at the restaurant, you're like, this is so good, it's just not Life Regenerator approved. You know, you watch my videos, you're out stuffing your face with stuff you know, and it's delicious, but it's not, you gotta really, you know, what goes up must come down. So if you can learn, like I said a million times, to eat like a peasant, you'll feel like a king. You wanna, I'm not saying don't enjoy life, but you know, when we're trying to extract joy out of food, might last a minute, might be all right, but eventually it catches up, and then the blockages and the constipation of the stomach, constipation of the head, and if you can clear all that out, you'll be like, okay, cool, like fresh air is where it's at, you know, fresh air and trees, you know, and then this whole thing of chasing everything down, you know, loses its luster in your life.